I refuse to stop using my balcony speaker. I live in a small apartment complex with individual balconies. Nothing fancy, just concrete floors, metal railings, and enough space for a chair and a small table. I bought a cheap Bluetooth speaker a while back. Nothing powerful, just loud enough to hear music while I cooked or sat outside after work. On weekday afternoons around 4 to 5, I'd sometimes sit on the balcony, scroll on my phone, and play music at a reasonable volume. No parties, no bass rattling the walls, just background noise. One Thursday, I was out there listening to a podcast while folding laundry when a man from the unit below me stepped onto his balcony and started staring up. He didn't say anything at first, just stood there with his hands on his hips, clearly waiting for me to notice him. When I finally did, he yelled up, "Do you really need to play that out here? Some of us work from home." I paused the podcast immediately and apologized. I told him I didn't realize it was bothering anyone and asked if the volume was too loud. He didn't answer the question. He just said, "Balconies aren't for entertainment. Take it inside." The tone caught me off guard, but I nodded anyway and went back inside, feeling weirdly embarrassed like I'd been scolded. That night, I kept thinking about it. I hadn't been blasting music. It was mid-afternoon, not quiet hours, and other people use their balconies all the time. I texted my friend Mark about it, and he said the guy sounded controlling, and that balconies are shared living perks, not silent zones. Still, I decided I'd be more mindful and keep things low. 2 days later, I opened the building's resident app to check a package notification and saw a post from the same guy. He didn't name me, but it was obvious. He wrote about certain residents who think shared spaces are their personal concert halls and how inconsiderate behavior was ruining the community. The comments started rolling in fast. Some people agreed, saying noise traveled easily. Others pushed back, asking what time this was happening and how loud was too loud. Then someone commented my floor number. Another person chimed in saying they'd heard my speaker before and thought it was annoying. One woman said young tenants had no respect anymore. My stomach dropped. I hadn't said anything publicly yet, but it felt like everyone was talking about me. Then a neighbor named Luis commented that he practices acoustic guitar on his balcony almost every evening, and no one has ever complained. Another resident said she plays white noise outside while reading because her apartment gets stuffy. Someone else pointed out that the building rules only restrict noise after 10 p.m. The tone of the thread shifted. The guy doubled down, replying that music is different from natural sounds and that people shouldn't be forced to hear someone else's choices. That's when another resident pasted a screenshot of the lease agreement, showing balconies listed as personal outdoor spaces, not common areas. The property manager eventually commented, saying as long as residents follow quiet hours and keep volumes reasonable, balcony use, including music, is allowed. If noise is disruptive, they suggested direct communication or closing windows. The original poster got angry. He replied that the management was encouraging inconsiderate behavior and that he'd be filing a formal complaint. Someone asked him if he complained about the upstairs kids running or the dog that barks every morning. He didn't respond. An hour later, the post was deleted. The following week, I went back out to my balcony around 4:30 p.m. I played music again, even quieter than before. A few minutes later, the guy stepped onto his balcony, looked up and rolled his eyes, but said nothing. I stayed put. About 20 minutes later, Luis from 2 doors down waved and asked what I was listening to. We ended up talking across balconies. Another neighbor joined in, then another. Someone brought out a portable fan. Someone else had coffee. No one turned anything up louder. We were just existing. The guy below slammed his balcony door and didn't come back out. After that week, the resident app went quiet. No more posts about noise. I still use my speaker. I just don't apologize for it anymore.